You're paying premium prices for chicken that isn't even built to be a sandwich. Today, we're exposing 5 chains that sell you marketing while cutting the meat, and 5 that actually deliver real crunch, real juice, real value. Dairy Queen's sandwich starts with tenders smashed onto a bun. Wendy's rides reputation with 1990s-era chicken that lacks crunch or standout flavor. We'll show you the tells: stringy texture, soggy breading, watered-down seasoning, and then point you to the winners like Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Dave's, Raising Cane's, and Shake Shack. Keep your money and your standards. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. If a chicken sandwich hits your tongue flat, soggy, or stringy, you're not paying for meat, you're paying for the logo on the bag. That's the trap.
In fast food, Chick-fil-A has long dominated the chicken sandwich. This simple sandwich is part of what propelled Chick-fil-A to its spot as the 3rd biggest fast food chain in the US, despite being closed on Sundays. Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen introduced its crispy chicken sandwich, and conflict started to brew. The sandwich challenged Chick-fil-A's dominance in the chicken sandwich category, and fast food's biggest names got into the battle. In a highly competitive industry like fast food, brands are racing to stake their claim. Chains that have long relied on chicken, like Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, are in prime position for victory.
Chains sell a premium story with glossy photos, then slide you a shortcut that never should have been pressed between buns. Let's start with the core swap. Whole muscle fillets get replaced with pre-frozen, uniform shapes or tender pieces meant for dipping. The result looks neat in ads but falls apart in your hands. It is staged food at premium price. The truth is, big brands don't have to win you over with flavor when the brand itself does the talking. They keep costs tight with pieces that cook fast, hold under heat lamps, and stack the same every time. That is great for speed. Not great for your bite. You feel it right away. No crackle. No clean snap. Just soft breading that sloughs off and a wet crumb that paints your palate like paste.
Part of Chick-fil-A's brand messaging has been that it didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. But American Studies professor Psyche Williams-Forson says people have been eating this type of sandwich as long as they've been eating bread and poultry. One thing is clear: fast food customers want chicken sandwiches. And the trend doesn't seem to be slowing. Now the big chains are duking it out to deliver, despite supply chain issues and fierce competition. And competition around the chicken sandwich isn't exactly new either. Ebony magazine searched Black newspaper archives and found ads for the chicken sandwich going back to as early as 1936.
A proper sandwich should click and break, then stay crisp through the last bite. When it collapses mid-chew, you're in shortcut country. Now let's move on to reputation versus reality. Wendy's built a name that sounds like quality, but the chicken they lean on feels stuck back in the 90s. The breading tastes like a base mix, the kind that browns but doesn't sing. No signature sauce steps in to save it. You pay a premium, and you get a safe, bland fry job that turns mushy as it sits. It fills space. It doesn't deliver. Holding time is the quiet villain here. Pre-frozen patties and tender format pieces might start crisp, but give them a warm nap under lights and the texture goes rubbery while seasoning fades. Salt stays loud. Everything else dulls. That's why your second bite often tastes like warm salt and steam. Not spice. Not chicken. Steam. You can spot the shortcuts by the way the meat breaks. Whole muscle fillets tear clean, you bite, and the grain snaps. Heavily processed or reconstituted pieces pull into strands and shreds. You tug, the sandwich fights back, and the breading slides off like a loose jacket. You end up with meat in one hand, bun in the other, and half the crust sitting in the wrapper. If you've been there, you know the move: pile it back and hope for the best. It won't fix the chew. Dairy Queen is the clearest example of the wrong product on the wrong bun. Tenders are built for dipping, not anchoring a sandwich. Press them onto bread and two problems show up fast. The gaps between pieces create weak seams, so the sandwich breaks and leaks. Then the tender's long fibers pull into stringy ribbons that drag out of the bun. You don't get a bite, you get a tug of war. And because those tenders are seasoned for sauce, not solo duty, the flavor reads thin without a dunk.
Chick-fil-A's founder S. Truett Cathy invented the chain's original chicken sandwich in 1964. That sandwich was made of a boneless chicken breast, breaded and fried in peanut oil, and served on a toasted, buttered bun with pickles. It was the first time in its nearly 50-year history that Popeyes offered a chicken sandwich that was available nationwide. In the past, its menu tended to focus more on bone-in products. When Popeye's parent company Restaurant Brands International quietly discussed a new menu item in its May 2019 Investor Day, it didn't know that the product's launch would cause such a frenzy.
The real kicker is how the breading behaves when it meets moisture. A good crust grips and stays crunchy. A cheap coat goes soft, flakes off, then mixes with steam to form a damp, bready smear. It is like soggy cornflakes. Once you notice that smear, you can't unfeel it. It's the tell that the kitchen leaned on speed, not method. Here's your checklist for spotting the trap before you order. Stringy pull that stretches like taffy. Floppy breading that sheds in sheets. An oversalted bite with no depth, salty first, then nothing. If you taste steam more than spice, you're funding marketing, not cooking. These tells show up fast, usually by bite 2. So who's wasting your money? DQ is the chain smashing tenders onto a bun. Wendy's asks you to pay more for a chicken build that fails the crunch test, the flavor test, and the upgrade test. No standout sauce, no real texture, nothing that earns the price. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe and share it with someone. Now let's separate the wasteful buys from the worth it picks, so you can stop paying for marketing and start paying for meat. We'll name the sandwiches that keep their crunch, hold their structure, and actually taste like chicken. Then we'll show you the swaps that fix your order without raising the bill. Let's start with what matters to your mouth. A real chicken sandwich bites clean, keeps a crisp shell, and carries seasoning that tastes like food, not a salt lick. If it goes stringy, soggy, and fades by bite 2, you're paying for ads. So vote with your dollars. Skip limp builds and move to Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Dave's, Raising Cane's, and Shake Shack. You get texture, moisture, and flavor that sticks. The real kicker. Your order steers the market. Tell the counter you want whole muscle, fresh cooked builds. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best kept secrets, and drop the last, premium, sandwich that fooled you.